So let's jump right in. What if I told you that the way you see the world isn't just a passive thing? That you're not just taking in reality, but you're actively creating it? Today, we're going to explore this really powerful metaphor that your vision, your perspective, is like a lamp. It doesn't just see the path in front of you, it actually lights it up.
You know, this idea is ancient, but it's at the very heart of what we're talking about. It basically suggests that whatever we choose to focus on, that's what creates our actual experience. If you have a good eye, one that's looking for opportunity and growth, your whole life just feels full of light. But a bad one, well, that can plunge you into a darkness you pretty much made yourself.
And this shows you exactly how that works in the real world. You've got two completely different paths here. On one side, you've got the pro golfer, Bubba Watson. After a total disaster on the back nine, he didn't aim his lamp at the failure. Nope, he pointed it forward, saying he'd love the chance to fail again because that just means he's in the running to win. And then you've got Job. His vision was all about fear, and it became the self-fulfilling prophecy. What he was terrified of happened, because that's exactly where he pointed his lamp. So this brings us to our first big idea. Your eye is basically the architect of your attention. The legendary football coach Tony Dungy noticed this all the time. What you envision, what you expect, it just starts to happen. It's like your focus creates this gravitational pull, dragging you toward the reality you keep your eyes on. Okay, but wait. If this inner lamp is so powerful, why do so many of us feel like we're just stumbling around in the dark? Well, this next part is all about the common ways we misuse this lamp, how we accidentally end up creating our own shadows and our own problems. Right, so the million-dollar question is, where do we go wrong with this thing? How do we take this powerful tool and point it in a direction that actually ends up hurting us? Turns out, there are two huge traps that almost all of us fall into.
The first trap, let's call it the sidelong glance. This is when we stop using our lamp to light up our own path, and instead, we shine it sideways on what everyone else is doing. We light up their successes, their wins, their lives, and all it does is make our own path seem darker by comparison.
And there's a reason this quote is so famous, right? Because it's just so true. The second your lamp is focused on someone else, you totally lose sight of your own journey. You're not lighting up your own next step, you're just making yourself feel inadequate based on someone else's highlight reel. And that leads us straight into the second trap, which this quote nails perfectly. We're afraid to look inward. Our gut instinct is to shine our lamp on the good stuff, on our strengths, on what feels comfortable. But the real growth, the real gold, is found when we have the guts to point that light into the dark corners, our weaknesses, our screw-ups, the things we don't know. That's where the opportunities are hiding.
All right, so we've laid out the problems, we know the traps. Now let's pivot to the solution, because it's not enough to know what's wrong. We need a real discipline, a way to consciously take control of where we aim this lamp of ours.
And performance psychologist Michael Gervais gives us this amazing practical framework. First, you have to shine the lamp clearly enough to actually decide on a path. No more fumbling around. Second, you use that lamp to build capacity. That just means lighting up your own weaknesses, your gaps, so you know exactly what to work on. And third, you test yourself by shining a brutally honest, unflinching light on how you're really doing. And listen, this isn't a one-time thing. The legendary wrestling coach Dan Gable said it best. If it's important, you do it every single day. Controlling your vision is a daily practice. It's a muscle. Every morning, you have to wake up and decide, okay, where am I pointing my lamp today? And when you boil it all down, the core discipline is really just this. Our lamps are always flickering, right? They jump to regrets about yesterday, worries about tomorrow, what other people are up to. The real work is just bringing that flickering light back to this moment, right here, right now. Now let's go a little deeper. It's not just about where you point the lamp. It's also about the quality of the light it casts. Is it a harsh, critical spotlight, or is it a warm, gentle, illuminating glow? Because the nature of that light can either heal or it can harm. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. captured this idea so perfectly. He called nonviolence a sword that heals. He said it ennobles the person who uses it. That is exactly what a good lamp does. It doesn't just point out problems, it lights up pathways to solutions, to understanding, to putting things back together. And on the flip side, you have this. Negative emotions can absolutely distort our vision. Lao Tzu said, "The best fighter is never angry." Why? Well, because anger is like smearing mud all over the lens of your lamp. You start seeing enemies where there are none, and threats where there might be opportunities. You end up tripping into fights you never needed to have. So all of this brings us to the highest purpose for our lamp. I mean, it's not just for us. The ultimate goal here is to move beyond just our own personal vision and create a legacy of service, using our light to help show the way for other people. Simon Sinek's take on leadership fits this idea perfectly. He says real leadership isn't about shining the lamp on yourself, on your fancy title or your corner office. It's about turning that lamp outward to find chances to contribute, moments to serve, and people you can help lift up. And this is how you build a real legacy. Ryan Holiday reminds us that the light we're carrying was probably lit by someone else, a mentor, a parent, a teacher. Our job isn't to try and pay them back. Our job is to pay it forward, to use our lamp to light the lamps of the people coming up behind us. Light just multiplies when you share it.
So, this leaves all of us with a really big, powerful question to think about. When your lamp eventually goes out, what's its legacy going to be? Did you light up people's potential? Or did you just highlight their mistakes? Did you shine a light on what connects us or on what divides us? What will other people see in the light you leave behind? Because in the end, it's simple. The body follows where the eye leads. That lamp was always yours to aim. The choice of where you point it, the quality of its light, and whether you're willing to share it, that doesn't just define your life. It actually shapes the world for everyone you meet. So choose your light carefully.